Ooh, we're live again. All right. Welcome, everyone. Um, I think it's an interesting day today. There always are. I can't lie. These days are always amazing. Um, so much that's happened in the last few days since I've made my last one. So, really, really keen on sharing what's happened and yeah, just sharing where I am. And so, I think the number one thing that's happened in the last few days has been a massive revelation that funny enough, I was asking for. Last time, I think I shared about how I want a breakthrough, how that's just what matters. And funny enough, something like that has happened, at least emotionally has happened. And that is actually super good. And so, to give you guys context, few weeks back, I realized that I was addicted to a certain emotion, and it's the emotion of not feeling good enough. So that was manifesting in everything in my life. I was creating situations, conversations, making decisions, everything you can think of around not being good enough. So I will self sabotage myself. Like it was just so obvious in my life. Obviously, it takes work, and I'm super grateful for my friends because they help me see it, and my partner as well. She has been super supportive. So that was a tough time because when you realize that you have an addiction, like there's so much I needed to evaluate and make decisions on how did I want to live my life from there onwards and so on. So it wasn't an easy time, but then just gotta keep moving, right? Like it is what it is. I then have been working on other stuff and obviously, well, I got things happening in my life. Like it just doesn't stop. You still have work, you still have situations. Now we're going through the virus lockdown. My parents are actually over from Colombia and they have been for basically 3 months. They should be leaving soon, but because we're in lockdown, then we just don't know when they're going to be able to go back home, which is fine. I'm happy to have them. It just means that you have more stuff happening in your day to day that you just probably didn't count on. And so that happened, and the last few weeks or weeks have been all about being aware as to where that has been popping up, like basically putting the flashlight on my life and finding where I'm actually craving that addiction. And it's been super obvious and it's been quite fun. What's been amazing though is that over the weekend something completely flipped, and I didn't know what it was at first, and I thought it was just a normal thing that happens from time to time, but then I realized yesterday that it's actually something that means that I've been so aware of my addiction that I'm almost letting go of it, like that it's completely gone. So I wanted to share that with you guys because now it's creating a completely different type of person in me, and I just love that. So the number one thing is, let me give you the story. I was watching over the weekend the Netflix series on Formula One because I just love Formula One. I'm not like a full-on addict and I have a team. I just watch it. I think it's fun, and I love the sport. I love how much business lessons there are on that, and I was literally just watching season two and just chilling. But then as I watched, something felt different. Something felt more profound. Like there was something that was just almost screaming inside of me, and I realized that I was craving feeling what those guys feel, being at the top of the game, the feeling of just being the best at something, and that aligned a lot with something my dad always told me: no matter what you do, always be the best. Even if you're just polishing shoes, be the best. And so that kind of like kicked in, and I started like seeing the show in a very different way. I started looking for patterns. How do they think? How do they see things? How do they even speak? What is it that people at the top of their game actually do? And became very apparent that there's a certain lifestyle and rituals and routines that you need to follow in order to be the best at something. What that did in turn was that I started looking at my life and seeing how much am I playing that game. Turns out not a lot. Turns out not very much. And so on my search for that, a little bit of that, like I just wanted a glimpse on that. I want to know who I wanted to know who was in the top of the game in what I do and what my partner and I do business wise. And I started looking, and we couldn't find much. Unfortunately, it's very interesting how successful, and I'm going to quote that, successful people don't really do that much to be successful. They do almost the bare minimum. Everyone wants the 4-hour work week. Everyone wants the full automated thing, the full everything just done for them. And that just, it was very interesting. And to give you guys context, I wanted to see how many people doing what my partner and I do run their business through ads and automation, and we haven't been able to find a single person that does that successfully. And so it was like a big eye opening, like it was a big aha, this is good. Like they're making, if they have a good business and they don't even run their own ads, then how much potentiality there is there for us to do the same and actually make a significant income. But I went back to what I was thinking is I just want to be the best at something. So, okay, cool. We know that to run the business, you don't need much. So that's a revelation. But then that is difficult and scary for me, because not scary in the sense I won't do it. Scary in the sense of like, what is going on here? Because if it doesn't take that much, I'm going to get complacent really quickly. It means that we could make money very quickly, very fast. Like, not saying that it's going to be a straightforward road, but we're going to have to test, adjust. And then once it hits, and you're running and you're making 6-7 figure business, like a year, like shouldn't be that hard. Literally, because the evidence is there that you don't need to do that much to get those results. So I was thinking, well, that's great, but how is that going to make me the best at that? And I think that actually makes things very different, because we're all striving for something big. But I think most of us want a lifestyle. We're all striving for a lifestyle. We're all striving for, I just want to make $1 million a year, or just want to make 10 million a year, whatever the next step is in terms of life, or I just want to make 100 a year, right? Rather than playing the game of, I just want to be the best. I want to be at the top of the game, no matter how much I make. I don't know, at some point as grown-ups, we swapped the perception that we can play the game and be amazing at that to, I just want something to go by. And that was a question that I had last night in my head when I was going to sleep, is when did I forget? When did I forget to play the game and try to be the best and got complacent with just whatever I got? Like, when did we forget? When did you forget what being the best felt like? And then to top it up, last night actually I decided to watch Ford versus Ferrari, the movie. And there was a few bits in the movie that were like, the whole movie is pretty awesome. Like I just love the history and how ruthless those people were, but they didn't do things for the money. And I think that is a massive difference between then and now. They did things to be the best. There's a point where one of them actually almost bets the whole company, his whole company, on the fact that if his best driver didn't win, then he would lose everything. So, excuse my nose. I don't know why I'm getting a little bit of hay fever in the mornings. So it's very fascinating, because to me, it was just a reminder that as a kid, you want to be the best player. If you play soccer or whatever sports you play, baseball, you want to be the best player in the world. That's your dream. You don't dream of getting a contract. You don't dream of, oh, I want to be the player that makes $1 million a year. You want to be the best soccer player, the best baseball player, the best bass player, the best guitar player, the best fireman, the best policeman. It's always about being the best. And so it dawned on me that we drop that. When do we drop it? At what point do we say being the best is just, there is no need for that? It's more important to make money. It's more important to really find a job that pays me enough to feel good about myself, right? And if you guys haven't, I'd really highly recommend you watch The Little Prince on Netflix. If you haven't read the book obviously, because it's awesome. But he does say, and I think the big message in that movie is to ask yourself, when did you forget? When did you forget to be a kid? When did you forget to dream? When did you forget to really aim high, aim for the stars, so at least you can hit the moon, right? Like, but maybe that's the message. Maybe that's where we forgot, which is we are aiming for the stars, and because we got nowhere, then we start aiming for the moon, and then because we don't get anywhere, then we start aiming for the sky, right? And then we start aiming for the mountain, and we kind of like stay at the mountain, and then it becomes, because everyone's trying to get to the top of the mountain, not the stars, then we chase that and we become complacent with whatever happens, right? And I'm not saying that you have to be ambitious or driven by money or all that stuff. I'm saying, no, that's a part of life. Like, we all have to eat, we all have to sleep. There's an amount of money that we all need as a baseline. But I don't think that having more money means more like being more greedy or all that stuff. I think the amount of money that we make is a direct correlation of how much value we add. But in terms of these, I feel like if you become the best at something, there is no other option but to make a lot of money. But the money wouldn't be important, because all you really care about is, how do I keep being the best, right? It's a different game. And I think that's the game that all the big guys have played. Like, you don't see, I don't think Michael Jordan ever wanted to be, I just want to be the best paid basketball player, right? Like, look at that. Like, look at um I'm just thinking of so many people, every Formula One driver, they didn't want to be, oh, I just want to make this much money with Ferrari. Their dream was, I want to be the best with Ferrari. I want to be the best with McLaren. I want to be the best with Mercedes. Lance Armstrong, he didn't care about the money. Look at people like Scarlett Johansson. She just, I don't know. I actually don't know that, so I'm not going to quote it, but she's the best female actor at the moment. She's making a ton of money, but I don't think she cares about that. I think she loves acting so much that, so how can I be the best actor I can be at any movie? And so going back to my life, I think I'm in this limbo, which is pretty awesome, and I'm aware of it. That where I know that, like, I'm gonna switch my mentality not to the money, but to the outcome, which means I want to be the best. I wanna work towards becoming the best at something. At what? I think I have a few ideas, but we'll see what starts developing, because it's not like I was born. You know how some people are born and you just almost know it after 5 years they are going to be the best at that. I wasn't brought up that way. I was brought up with just do well, just do well. So I'm at that stage where I need to figure out, what do I want to be the best at, and figuring out what does it take to get there. So some people will say, we just have to hustle so much and that. And I don't think I agree with that. I think it's all about learning how to ride the roller coaster, how to immerse myself into the process of being the best, not becoming the best. What is it that the best CEOs do every day? What is it that the best sport athletes do every day? And then just replicate that, but to a different level, right? It's not a matter of knowledge. It's not a matter of skills. It's a matter of practice, repetition, and improvement. And that's the game that I probably want to play. The dilemma and the catch where I'm at is how comfortable my ego and my current self is with certain things in my life. So if you tell me you're going to have to change X, Y, Z, that's where the fun is going to begin. Not so much the process of doing it, but letting go of the person that doesn't want to do it. So it's a personality shift. And this is interesting, because the older we get, the more attached we get to beliefs. So even though I've talked about beliefs, and this is again a process of me challenging what I know and where I want to go, I think that gap between, well, but this is good, versus I want to be the best just because, very interesting game because they are almost opposite belief systems, simply because one of them, let's say my current belief, is all about how do I make the most amount of money, how do I add a lot of value, how do I the best person at selling XYZ product, or I just want to be the best person at teaching people how to do XYZ. It's a very different system. And so I'm in the process of, well, okay, we got to figure this out, and even going to bed, trying to let go of that, and asking for guidance. By the way, I don't pray in the same way I think most people do. I don't pray to God. And I know that this is a belief system, of course, but I know that I come from God, like otherwise we wouldn't be here. And so I don't ask God, I ask myself, I ask the little guy inside of me to guide me through this, because otherwise wouldn't have he be here. Like, he picked all this, he chose, well, we're gonna do this. So I just ask for guidance, right? And it's cool because I think the biggest part about praying is letting go. And so a lot of people don't want to let go of who they are. They just want to keep doing the same things, but then expecting God or whoever you pray to literally hand it out to you. In my case, I'm going, no. I know I'm not gonna get anything handed out, but I just need some guidance. And here's where I need guidance, and I'm gonna let go of my attachment to getting there, and to also thinking that I know how to get there. Right? It's funny. It's the same. It's the story of like the guy hanging off a cliff, and he asks God, help me. And then this climate comes by and say, hey, hop on, I'll get you out of here. No, God is gonna help me, right? Or you know the story, and then he keeps sending help, but the guy never pays attention. So until you let go, after you pray, after you ask, after you decide, then you're not going to be able to see the signs. So that's where I'm at, like letting go of my personal preferences or my routine behind how I do things, so I can start seeing life in a different way. So that's basically where I am. It's been an amazing turn of events to go from I'm addicted to not being, to feeling like I'm not good enough, to now realizing, holy crap, there's a gap in my life. I want to be the best at something. So that's a massive flip, because it means that I've definitely let go of a lot of that. Otherwise I wouldn't be craving this so much. It's like I got rid of a rock from my rock jar, and now there's an emptiness, and you're like, I gotta fill that gap with something else, right? Like that space is open now for better things. So the more you let go, the more space you're opening up in your jar. So that's where I am. I need to fill the gap. And I think the last few days just literally were clues. The universe was basically saying, go watch the show, go watch the movie, feel that emptiness, and let's figure out how to move from forward, right? So that's where I'm at, and that's cool. Not expecting much, but this is just, yeah, you guys know I just do it for fun. So yeah, anyway, good to see you all. Have an awesome day. And then we wait for this to stop. It takes forever. Man, the allergies, insane. I hope it is not all still going. I run out of faces to pull.